See, a sincere, committed and hard-working student can qualify prelims in nearly 120 days if his preparation is smart. Okay, so those students who find it difficult to qualify prelims, or those students who are going to give prelims for the first time, this session will help them how to approach prelims and how to qualify prelims. Before discussing the strategy, I want all of you to have an idea what is the UPSC pattern is all about. Okay, in UPSC prelims, there are two papers are there, GS paper 1 and GS paper 2. Each paper carry 200 marks. In GS paper 1 there will be 100 questions, and in GS paper 2 there will be 80 questions. And one important point you need to note down is that the GS paper 2 is now a qualifying paper. GS paper 2 is now a qualifying paper. So the marks of GS2 is not deciding your result. You have to, out of 200, you have to ensure that you score 33% marks. That is 60. If you get 66 marks out of 200 in GS paper 2, you will qualify GS2. Okay, so that is the minimum requirement from GS2. Even if you score 100, 120, 150 in GS2, it doesn't matter. You have to just get 66 marks. So the most important paper which decide your result, prelims result, is the GS paper 1, which is having 100 questions, each carrying 2 marks. So out of this 200 marks in GS paper 1, how much score you should get to qualify prelims? You should know it very well. That is very important. Okay, you should know, if I get certain marks, will I qualify or not? So we will see that. Okay, for that I am giving you an analysis of the cutoff marks of the last 5 years of UPSC prelims. Okay, so these are the marks, which the cutoff marks published by UPSC in its website. Okay, so as per the UPSC website data, cutoff mark for general category students in the year 2019, it is 98 marks, and in 2018 prelims also. So in the 2018 and 2019 prelims, the cutoff mark for general category student is 98 marks. For OBC, naturally, it is less than 98. So I am discussing this strategy based on that I am considering you as a general candidate, and you should also think that, okay, there is no much difference between general candidate and OBC candidate, and obviously if you are having other reservation like scheduled caste or scheduled tribe reservation, your cutoff will go down. But this video is basically intended to in such a way that everybody, I consider every candidate should get the marks of a general candidate. Okay, so you are supposed to know the cutoff marks of general category students. Okay, and for 2019 onwards, for economic weaker sections also cutoff is been, because that is a separate category been given. So in the 2019, the economic weaker section cutoff is again lower than OBC, but things may change in future, we don't know. So if you look into the cutoff mark of general category students out of 200 in GS paper 1, in 2015 it was 107.34, in 2016 it is 116, in 2017 it is 105.34, and in 18 and 19 the cutoff mark is 98. So this shows that in the last, in the 2018 and 19 as well as in the 2020 prelims, we are expecting the same cutoff, nearly 98 to 100 marks. Okay, so in the last few years, the GS paper prelims 1 paper is comparatively tougher. That's the reason why the cutoff is lower. Okay, so it doesn't matter whether the paper is difficult or easier. If the paper is easier, the cutoff will go high, like in the case of 2016. If the paper is difficult, the cutoff will come lower in the form of 18 and 19 cutoff, even in 2020 cutoff. Okay, so by looking into the cutoff marks means if you get this marks, you will qualify prelims. So this is the most important point you should note down. So to qualify prelims, you know that GS paper 1 marks is considered. So if I get around 110 marks or 120 marks in paper 1 and if I get 33% marks in paper 2, you definitely will qualify prelims. So in the coming prelims also the paper will be comparatively difficult. So expected cutoff will be always near to from 98 to 100 or 110. But I will suggest you, if you can score, if any of you can score 120 marks, near to 120 marks, definitely you will qualify prelims. Nobody can stop you, provided you get that minimum qualifying marks in CSAT paper. So first thing you need to note down is that to qualify prelims, this much marks is required. Okay. So once you know the marks you have to attain for your qualify prelims, then you should prepare in such a way how to get that marks. So many of the civil service aspirant preparation is wrongly guided. They spend on lot of information, lot of materials, lot of extra reading they do, but they lack certain essentials. So instead of doing that, if you know the UPSC exam clearly, this is very, very important. Okay, instead of reading many materials, the first criteria to qualify prelims is to know this exam thoroughly. You should know UPSC exam in a proper way. You should know the importance of each subject. You should know the pattern of questions being asked. You should know the favorite areas of UPSC. And based on that, you have to plan your preparation. Then only you can qualify prelims. This many of the students lack. Without having these basic requirement, they start reading many materials which is available in the market. That is you should not do. Okay. So anyway, so this is one important point you need to keep in mind, that so you know the cutoff marks. Okay, you know how much marks is required to qualify prelims. So the highest cutoff mark till now is 116 in GS paper 1, that is in the year 2016. So there's rare chance that the cutoff will go above 116. So in the last few years the paper is difficult, so cutoff is in the range of in the last 2 years 98 only. In 2020 prelims also the cutoff is maybe in that range only. Okay, but anyway, the safe thing what I'll suggest you is that try to get near to 120 marks, and that is possible also if you prepare in a smart way. And this one important thing you need to keep in some important information regarding prelims examination. Okay, from the current UPSC prelims pattern is this prelims pattern or the prelims question paper pattern was changed in the year 2011. So that you are supposed to know the pattern of UPSC prelims questions from 2011 onwards. So all the question paper, UPSC question paper, both of GS paper 1 and GS paper 2, you are supposed to solve it. Okay. So all the questions from 2011 till 20 is been shared with you. Okay, and we have done a proper analysis. You will get to know which all subjects are more important. Within each subject, which area UPSC is giving more importance, and that is another important key for your success. Okay, you should know which subject is more important for your prelims, and within each subject, which area you have to be very strong. So these things will make a big difference in your prelims. Okay, and in 2015 only GS paper 2 became qualifying. So before that, GS paper 2 was, that marks also was counted while carrying cutoff marks, but from the prelims 2015 onwards, only GS paper 1 marks has been considered. So have an idea to qualify prelims. If you get somewhere near to 120, that's a very good score, very, very good score. Nobody can stop you from qualifying prelims. Okay. Now, before discussing the strategy, okay, we are showing you an analysis. Okay, this table will give you an analysis of the number of questions being asked from each subject. Many institutes give this classification, number of questions being classification. There will be plus or minus 1 or 2 questions will be there for each subject, but this table you take it as a general trend of UPSC. You should have an idea, the general trend of the number of questions from each question being asked. So, if you look into this particular table, okay, you can see that the maximum number of questions has been asked from economy. Okay, you should not stop here. You should look into within economy from which area the number of questions being asked and what type of question is being asked from each topic, from economy or from any subject. So we are sharing all the subject wise question paper in PDF format. You can from the video, be from the video below in the description. You can download those PDFs. Those who are not having it, okay, so that you will have an idea the questions being asked from each subject and from which area it has been asked from the year 2011 to 20, because in 2011 only the prelims pattern, question paper pattern have changed. So economy is a very important, economy is a very important prelims subject. Indian history and culture is a very important subject, okay, on an average. So in the case of economy, in the last few years, in the last 5 or 6 years, on an average you are getting 24 to 25 questions. So 1/4 of the prelims questions is coming from economy. That's a very important information you need to have. So you should need to be very good in economy to qualify prelims. Then from history and culture, on an average 19 to 20 or 18 questions are coming. So you can say average 18 questions are coming from history. So history questions in the last few years are very difficult. Students find it many questions very difficult to solve. So that also you need to expect, okay. So when you prepare history, you can't solve all the questions from history. But if you can score 60% of the history questions, that's a good score. But in the case of economy, you can score nearly 80% questions, because of most of the questions are comparatively easy in economy if you have studied economy in the right manner. That's the difference, okay. You have to study economy in the correct way as per the UPSC demands, okay. So you need to know that also, how each number of questions been asked from each subject and how a student perform in each subject in the last few years. So based on that only all these parameters, the time you devote to each subject and will help you to attain the score of 120, and thereby you can qualify prelims. Now then polity, Indian polity is also a very important subject, and interesting thing about Indian polity is that comparatively to any subjects, even though questions are lesser than history and economy, the number of questions, the questions are relatively easy and you can easily solve it, provided in the case of polity, if you have solved all the UPSC prelims questions available from the year 1995 till the latest prelims exam, nearly you will have an idea which area is the favorite area of UPSC, how the pattern of question is being asked, so that you can, if you do that along with reading a standard textbook and solving all the previous year questions, you can score very well. I will say you can score 90% of the polity questions can be solved if you have studied polity in a better way. So compared to any subject, the success rate of polity is very high. So you are supposed to be very strong in Indian polity. Then geography, on an average 12 to 14 questions has been asked in the last few years. So you have to be very good in geography also. Then environment, okay, environment is a very important subject. On an average 12 to 15 marks, so 12 to 15 questions is being asked from environment, and you have to study geography and environment together because there are a lot of interrelated topics are there. So you have to be very strong in geography as well as in environment to qualify prelims. So I will say that these 5 subjects as the core 5 subjects, okay. All the students have to be very good in these 5 core subjects: economy, history, polity, geography and environment. Now recently, the last few years, science and technology is being given higher importance by UPSC, okay. So science and technology questions, on an average 10 questions is 10 to 11 questions has been asked in the last few years. So science and technology have become very important, and science and technology is also important for your mains. So you add it, okay, science and technology also, so 6 core subjects. But I will include international relations also, because international relation is very important for your mains also. International relation questions are comparatively easy. So 7 core subjects, add these two, science and technology and international relations, okay. So you as a student have to be very thorough in these 7 core prelims subjects. You should know all the conventional areas of these 7 core subjects. You should know the favorite area of these 7 subjects. By looking into the UPSC prelims questions, you will get to know the favorite area. So you should be very strong in those favorite area of each subject. You should solve maximum previous year questions of these 7 core subjects. You are supposed to solve all the previous year questions starting from the year 1995. And you have to study in such a way, it should be systematic preparation, okay. Each subject you have to study on a chapter form, and after reading each chapter, you have to solve all the previous year questions. So you will get to know whether you are studying each subject, each module of that particular subject in a proper way, and whether you can answer it. So if you are understanding that particular subject and if your concepts are clear, definitely you can solve the prelims question, and you will also get to know how UPSC asks question, how UPSC traps a student in a question. All these things will become familiar when you study in such a way, and your preparation will become very interesting if you study like this. Read a chapter, solve the previous year questions of that particular chapter. This will give you a confidence in that particular subject, and you will start enjoying that particular subject. This is how you have to study each subject. Not simply reading 10 chapters will not help you to know the subject and to know the UPSC. Read one chapter, solve the questions being asked from that particular chapter from the year 1995 till 2020. This is how you have to study for each subject, okay. And then from Indian Society and General Science, there are few questions are there, but I will suggest you should give your entire energy for these 7 core subjects. Now I will show you the number of questions being asked from each we know the number of questions being asked from each subject, but within each subject, for example, in the take the economy as a subject. Within economy, certain areas have been given higher importance by UPSC. For example, external sector, see the number of questions within economy. Within economy, the maximum number of questions is being asked from external sector, money and banking, and agriculture. So you can say that 75% of the economic questions are coming from these 3 core areas of economy. For example, external sector. So within external sector, this is very important. So many students does not know what constitute external sector, what all things you have to study under external sector. You have to study the basic concepts of balance of payment. You have to solve all the previous year questions from balance of payment. You should know what is convertibility. You should know what is exchange rate system. You should know what is IMF. You should know what is World Bank. You should know what is World Trade Organization. Okay. You should know what is intellectual property rights. You should know what is the trade agreements and related current affairs. You should know what is foreign trade policy. And you should also read the economic survey. There is a chapter on external sector from economic survey. If you do it and you read the related current affair, then you can solve all the questions from external sector. But you should study it in such a manner, okay. You are supposed to study external sector in a very thorough manner, including the economic survey. Then money and banking has been given so much of importance. See, if you don't believe, if you think that such number of questions, if you think from money and banking and external sector, such number of questions is being asked, look into the PDF of economy. You can see I have segregated from each topic the number of questions being asked. What all questions is being asked in the 2020, 2019, 2018, you will have an idea. Can you solve those questions? If not, your preparation is not right. You have to study those topics, then you have to solve those prelims questions. Definitely, if you study in that way. So, how you will study external sector? You will take one module, first module 1, balance of payment, study it, understand it, then solve the question. Move on to the next chapter, study it, convertibility, solve the questions, move to the, while dealing with, do it all parallelly, do the current affairs also. Okay, so this is how you have to study, not only for economy, for all the subjects. So money and banking also it's like that. RBI, Reserve Bank of India is the most important module, module 1. Then money market. Then the different types of commercial banks. So like that there are many topics are there in money and banking. Current affairs like insolvency and bankruptcy code, non-performing assets. So there are many modules or many chapters under money and banking. You are supposed to know all those things and also the important current affairs from money and banking. And another area is agriculture. See, agriculture is there in geography also. But there are some agricultural topic related with economy like minimum support prices, agricultural markets. So there are some topics like irrigation, soil, that is we are including under geography. But MSP, public distribution, PDS, Food Security Act, all these things we are bringing under economy. So this agriculture topic you have to study both from the geography and economy point of view. So agriculture is also more topic. There are other subjects also there. You cannot leave it. You have to study public finance, you have to study inflation, you have to study national income, industry, infrastructure, capital market, planning, human development, government schemes. Then only your preparation for economy will be complete. But while preparing all these topics, give importance to external sector, money and banking and agriculture. Like that, every subject you should know what are the core areas. If you take geography, take the case of geography, okay. In geography, you have to study Earth and the universe, you have to study geomorphology, you have to study climatology. Within climatology, many subtopics are there. You have to study Indian geography, both physical and political, and you also study economic geography. UPSC is giving more importance to economic geography in the recent years. Also climatology, also there are good number of questions are there. So you should know that these all things have to study under geography. Okay, these are the questions being asked. So you have to read the standard material. While reading each chapter, you have to solve the previous year questions from the year 1994, 1995 till now, the recent prelims question paper. So you should be very good in climatology and economic geography so that you can score well in geography. Then coming to polity, I told you polity is comparatively a very successful, high scoring subject. Based on the percentage of questions you can attempt and you can make it correct. So in polity, the favorite areas of UPSC are the maximum number of questions are coming from the legislature, both union legislature and state legislature. See the number of consistently they are asking question from it, union legislature and state legislature. Then union and state executive. Then judiciary. Recently fundamental rights is getting so much of importance. Often DPSP, lot of questions has been asked from DPSP. In the last year, there have been a lot of questions from directive principles of state policy. You have to read the entire polity, all the topics you have to cover, but you have to give more importance to these areas because maximum number of questions are coming from these areas. So while studying Indian polity, you have to give more importance to legislature, executive and judiciary along with fundamental rights and DPSP. And you should, how you have to study? After reading each, for example, if you have completed fundamental rights, solve all the UPSC prelims questions starting from 1995 till 2020. So you will have an idea. After completing the parliament and state legislature, solve all the UPSC prelims questions. Then you will get confidence. Whether you are just simply reading Lakshmikant will not help you. You don't know whether your preparation is right or wrong. You have to solve all the questions from the parliament and state legislature to know that whether you are good in parliament and state legislature. This is how you have to prepare. So these are the favorite areas of polity. Now coming to history. Okay, history you have to study ancient, medieval, modern and art and culture. In the last few years, see, normally people used to skip medieval India. But in the last few years, from medieval India also prominent number of questions are been coming. So you cannot skip medieval India. Ancient India is consistent. You have to be very good in ancient India. Okay, in ancient India there are some favorite UPSC areas are there like Buddhism and Jainism, like Indus Valley civilization. So these are favorite area and there are favorite art and culture topics are there. You are supposed to know it. Look into the UPSC prelims questions. How, from which area the question has been asked. Okay, and modern India. And since history is also very important for your mains, You have to study history both from the prelims and mains point of view. That's the right way. Polity, geography, all these subjects you have to study both if you have time. Study from the both from prelims and mains point of view. I will suggest you in the case of history, for example, modern India, you study art and culture, you study both from the prelims and mains point of view so that you can save time. So after prelims, you need to spend time for modern India and art and culture. Okay, but while studying, while reading the standard textbook like NCERT and a standard material, what I will suggest you is that look into the previous questions. How the questions have been asked, whether you can solve it. Okay, from which NCERT or which standard textbook it has been asked. All these will give you so that you can go and revise it. So history is also very important. So you cannot leave any part of history, but identify the core areas so that you can revise, you can give more time to that particular core areas of that particular subject. Then coming to environment. Environment, okay. We have a very good environment faculty and we have a very good environment material. Ours is one of the best environment material, okay. But anyway, this we have classified the material in such a way that all the questions from 95 to 2020 has been segregated, have been met properly. But again in environment, what you have to study? See, in the recent years, okay, protected areas are being given higher importance. Then fauna and flora has been given higher importance. Then pollution and related topics, UPSC is giving more importance in the last few years. So what type of question is being asked from these areas? Okay, is there any continuity with the previous year question paper of the same topic? How you have to study? If you have a standard material, if you get good classes and if you know how to solve the previous year questions, definitely you will become, that subject will become very stronger to you. And thereby that can be a reason for your success in your prelims. So environment is a very core subject. Then coming to science and technology. I told you in the last few years, science and technology have been given very high importance by UPSC. Within the science and technology is there for your mains also. So within the science and technology, UPSC is giving more importance to biotechnology, information and communication technology and space, which is there in your main syllabus also. So when you study science and technology, study both from the prelims and mains point of view. So science and technology, you give importance to biotechnology, information communication technology, space. All these things are there in your main syllabus, including nanotechnology. So from nanotechnology also in 2020 there have been a question. And then study the basics about defense research, nuclear research and all the important current affairs with these topics. So science and technology, even though it looks difficult for many students, if you study in a proper way, for example, by covering all the conventional areas. When I say conventional areas in science and technology means you have to cover biotechnology thoroughly. All the different modules of biotechnology from the basics till what is required, all the latest technology. Solve all the previous year questions. Read all the current affairs. Then go to information and communication technology. What all topics have to be covered? What are the current affairs? So try to solve the previous year question. Come to the space part. Come to nanotechnology part. Do defense research. Do nuclear research. So this is how you have to study. You cannot neglect science and technology because nearly 10 questions are coming from science and technology, and I think 60 to 70% you can make it correct if you study in a proper way in science and technology. And these subjects will give you an edge over other students by not neglecting science and technology. Then coming to international relations, from the prelims point of view compared to all the other core subjects, the number of questions are lesser in international relations. But international relations is very important for your mains. And most of the international relation questions, even though number is less, are easier questions. You cannot neglect international relations also. So in international relations, like you can focus on regional organization, you can focus on global organization, you can focus on international issues. Nuclear disarmament has been given importance by UPSC. Then you study all the, from the mains point of view, India neighborhood, India bilateral relation, etc. From the mains point of view, definitely then you can solve the prelims questions also. So these are the 7 core subjects you have to study. Within these 7 core subjects, have an idea what are the important area you have to study. Have an idea means go to the previous year questions. Are you familiar with those questions, or you have to prepare all these things? You will get an idea when you look into the previous year questions. Okay. Now I will tell you how. Now comes the question. So you know the requirement to qualify UPSC prelims. Try to score more than 110 or try to get 120. If you get 120 prelims marks in GS1 and if you get that qualify marks in GS paper 2, you will definitely will qualify prelims. Now the question is, in nearly 120 days, how to qualify prelims? Now this is a big challenge. You have seen the syllabus, the vastness, means how vast the syllabus is. You have to solve all the previous year question, you have to study the current affair, you have to study the conventional topic. So here comes, you require a support system. Every student require a support system. When I say support system is, even if you are a fresher, if you are weak in a particular subject, you should get standard classes. When I say standard classes, all your basic concepts should be cleared by those classes. Means if you have any doubt in any subject, through classes you will be able to understand those concepts and you can learn it quickly. When you try to study yourself, it will take more time. But by attending classes, you can learn a subject, you can learn a concept very fast, in a very fast manner. Okay, so you have to attend the classes, standard classes. You have to read a standard material. Instead of reading thousands of material in the market, read one quality standard material. When I say a standard material, the standard material should be like this. Each subject should be in the form of different modules or chapters, and each chapter should have or module should have all the previous year questions from the year 1995 to 2020, so that after studying one particular chapter or a module, students get to know whether they can solve the previous year questions, and they should also understand what type of questions or how UPSC set a question, so that the confidence when they start solving the UPSC questions, previous year question themselves, their confidence level will also change. Okay, so good classes which will help you to understand the concept in a very easy manner, by saving your time. A good standard material will help you lot of time on searching for the material, and that standard material, if it's also giving you previous year question, that big headache is also over. It is in a systematic manner, the material and the previous year question has been given. Then, so you got a good classes, you got the standard material, you are able to solve the UPSC questions. Then what is required is, means you require updation in current affair classes. Again, nearly the last 2 years, nearly before your prelims, 1.5 year or 2 years current affair, if you are, especially the last 1.5 year current affair is more important, but if you, from a safer point, if you study the last 2 year current affair, things will become easy for you. But again in the current affair, there is a big question is there, that current affairs are it's so plenty, but within the current affair, UPSC have favorite area that is linked to the syllabus. If the system helps you in preparing for current affairs, the most important current affair, and that too related with the UPSC syllabus, things will be very much helpful for you. Again, we will help you in current affairs also. So the requirement is how to qualify in a short span of 120 days is that you have to attend the classes. Without attending the classes, it is impossible for you to do it. You have to read the study material after attending the classes. You have to solve the UPSC prelims questions, previous year prelims questions. You have to update with the current affairs, and you also have to, on a weekly basis, you have to do an analysis of your performance. You have to write prelims test. So a standard prelims test series. A standard prelims test series will help you. Standard means it should match the UPSC standard. So a UPSC aspirant who have seen the previous year questions of all these subjects can easily judge the standard of a UPSC test series question paper. So one standard UPSC test series will be sufficient, along with the previous year questions will help to know the UPSC better, to know your weak area, what mistakes you do in a test series, so that you can identify your mistake and you can improve in the next test, and you can keep on doing it, and you can, by the time you write the last test, you will be in a position to identify your weakness and to score well. So in prelims test series, it's also about Okay, solving unknown questions. Okay, UPSC prelims is also about that important area. Okay, you should see, once you thoroughly study all the core subjects, once you have seen all the previous year questions, you have studied the current affair, you have solved the prelims test series, you are attempting prelims test series, you will be knowing it, how to answer certain unknown questions, and that is a key for your prelim success also. So all these things will be learned through a process. Okay, so these things you keep in mind. Okay, the core points or core thing to qualify prelims in such a short span of time, in within 120 days, is that you have to be very good in 7 core subjects which I have discussed. You have to, all the concepts you have to be very clear. Okay, you have to solve the previous year questions, etc. Then you have to be, see, 90% of the civil service aspirant find economy to be very difficult because it's a vast subject. There is no proper standard textbook. The questions mostly sometimes come from current affair. Okay, and mostly many of these questions are new for them. So here, if you can become a master in economy from the examination point of view, okay, and if you can score 80% of the UPSC economic questions, so we at Ekam IAS is providing the best platform to learn economy. Even if you don't have any background, you will not have any problem in learning economy and solving economic questions. All the criteria is fulfilled in our economic course. Okay, so that is another core area, because when other students try to when they are weak in economy, when you are strong in economy, and economy is the most important prelim subject, that makes a big difference in your prelims result, in your prelim score. Okay, and I already told you, solving the previous year questions. From which year? From the year 9, from in the market, the year 1995 questions is available, and you didn't know to search for the question paper. Our study material is having the previous year question from 1995 till the recent prelims exam. Okay, so and that too in a chapter module wise form it has been given to you. So that is very, very important. Solving the previous year questions 2 or 3 times at different point of your preparation within in this 120 days is very important. Then identify the core topics. I already discussed, every subject is having core topics. So that you will be knowing from the number of questions being asked from each chapter. Okay, and be strong in current affairs. Okay, we have an exclusive current affairs program. See, that this is a big question. So many students ask me, sir, from where to study current affairs? There are a lot of topics are there. So I will suggest you, when you study current affair, more importance should be given to your conventional topics also of these 7 core subjects. Parallelly, you have to study current affair. Okay, so current affair, there are plenty of current affairs is there. You can't study all the current affair, and it's not required also. You have to link the current affair with the syllabus and with the latest UPSC pattern of current affair question being asked. That is how you have to study. So there also you require a support. Okay, if you have to study current affair, you have to study in a proper integrated way. So that also will help you in our current affairs plus program. Okay, and one important thing you have to keep in mind when you attempt your prelims exam is that, okay, see, I told you your prelims preparation has to be very smart, and I will tell prelims compared to mains exam, prelims exam is easy for one reason. The answer is there in front of you. I always say this point many times to my student. See, in UPSC prelims is a multiple choice question. For a question is been given and 4 choices is given. Out of these 4 choices, 1 is your answer. So already answer is there in front of you. You have to smartly pick the right answer. So there you to smartly pick the right answer, your preparation, prelims preparation should be in such a way that like all these things should fulfill. That you should be thorough with the conventional topic, you should be thorough with the current affair, you should know the trap set by UPSC by solving the previous year questions. So by solving the previous year questions, doing a prelims test series, and knowing the conventional current affair topics, and knowing the elimination methods of different, how to eliminate the choices and getting the right answer is key. Okay, so you can apply elimination method and other different techniques when you attempt prelims. if you practice in such a way. Because the core thing you need to remember is that in prelims, answer is there in front of you. You should know how to eliminate the 3 choices and get the right answer. So this is also very crucial. This strategy is also very crucial in attaining that qualifying marks of 120 in your GS1 paper. Okay. So in order to attain this strategy and to get nearly 120 marks, I will suggest you a candidate. If a candidate is sincere, I am repeating the word, if a candidate is sincere, committed and hardworking, and who is having the passion to qualify this prelims exam in the coming prelims, if you have 120 days and if you are ready to give minimum 10 hours, I'll say 10 to 12 hours per day, then if you join our focus prelims course, okay, focus prelims course will help you, because focus prelims course is all about teaching you all these 7 core subjects. The classes, online classes will be given to you. You can watch it at your convenience. All the standard material will be given to you along with the previous year questions. All the current affairs program is covered under the current affair plus program. If you are weak in economy, our economy courses will help you to study the entire economy course along with solving the previous year question, and also be good in the current affair. You can easily prepare economic survey, budget and all other important economic current affairs, and thereby you can become a master in economy. Okay. So this is another important thing which I will suggest you. Okay. If you want to qualify in 120 days, you have to give daily 10 to 12 hours. So 4 hours or 5 hours of watching our classes, another 3 to 4 hours to read our material, then solving the previous year questions and reading a bit of current affairs. And if you do it for the next 100 or 120 days, along with these criteria which I have said earlier, you can easily attain 120 marks. Okay. And finally, regarding one last point which I want to discuss is regarding revision. Okay. Revision is a must. But when you revise, so how you have to study a particular subject and a particular standard material, okay? Where if you are studying a subject for the first time, and if you are reading the material for the first time, okay? So my first suggestion is don't try to read the material alone, because it will consume lot of time for you to understand. Even if you understand it also, you don't know what is the UPSC demand. So if you watch our classes, you will, in a lesser time, you will able to understand the concept, you will able to understand the requirement of UPSC, you can solve the prelims question. Okay. So in the first reading, if you are getting the support of a classes, then reading will become more important to you. But in the first reading of your material, take your time. Don't be in a hurry while reading the material. Take your time to read the entire material. Take your time to solve all the previous year questions. The first reading, you give the maximum time, and ensure that, see, you are preparing for prelims, and I told you in prelims, answer will be there in front of you in the prelims exam. Okay. So if you study the first, when you are studying for the first time, watching the classes and after reading the material, and you are reading in such a way with in such a way that you understand the concept, you have understood the concept, and you have solved the UPSC prelims question, then when you go for revision, your second reading or third reading, what you have to do is, this is a very important point, where student makes a mistake. When they go for revision, normally what student does is, they again revise the material again, the full material. You should not do that. You need to read the entire material of that subject again, if you have done the first reading in a proper way. The second reading or third reading, I will say second reading and third reading is more than sufficient if your first reading is very good. How will you do is, or how will you revise is, first, I told you our material, every subject, our material is having previous year questions. After a time gap, maybe after 3 weeks or 4 weeks of a chapter has been completed, you can take a particular subject, you can take 5 chapters or 5 modules of a particular subject, and try to solve the previous year questions. So your revision is through solving previous year questions. So while solving a previous year question, what will happen? You will have a doubt. Earlier, while attending the classes, when you read the material for the first time, you were able to solve that question. But after 3 or 4 weeks, you have doubt in that particular question. You are not able to solve that question, or you don't know what is the answer. So in that case, when I say revision, revision means go to that, instead of reading the entire material, from which topic you are having doubt, read that topic material only. So the question where you have doubt, that area only you read it. Maybe a half page will be there, or maybe 1 page, maximum 1 page will be there. So you revise that page. So you are not revising the entire material, you are revising that particular topic only. And then come back and again solve it. You will be in a position, you can solve it. So by doing specific area-wise revision like this, where you will revise only those areas where you have doubt or where you have forgotten the concept. So this is one way of revising. Take the previous year question of every chapter on a regular basis and solve it. If you are not able to solve it, go and revise it. Second revision I will suggest you is that when you do the prelims test series. In the prelims test series, we have initially subject-wise test series. So after every subject-wise test series, each paper will be having 100 questions. So you may have doubt in some questions. You may be having doubt in 50 questions out of 100. Or you can't answer 50 questions, or you have made a mistake of 10 questions. Then how will you revise? Revise those questions or area where you have doubt. Go back to the material and revise it again. So the 2 revision I will suggest you is that 1 revision is by seeing the previous year questions and only revise those areas where you can't solve the previous year question or you have doubt. Second is, while doing the test series, after completing the test series, those areas which you can't solve or you can't attempt, where you have made a mistake, go back to your material and read those questions only. This is how you have to do the revision. So in that way, you are revising only those areas where you have lack of clarity or where you have doubt or where you have forgotten. An area where you are comfortable and area where you know, there is no point in revising it again. It's a wastage of time. So if you can do this strategy also, revision, a right way of revision, definitely your sincere and smart work. So see, hard work will become smart work if you follow this strategy. Okay, so definitely understand, in India 95% of the students qualify this exam with the support of a system, with the help of a coaching institute. So definitely you require a good coaching institute support. We are here to help you. We are giving you quality classes, we are giving you quality standard material, and we are there to guide you throughout your preparation. Okay, so make sure that you make the right choices while preparing for your prelims as well as in mains exam. So if you study in this way, definitely you can qualify your prelims. Only thing you need to have is that have confidence in yourself. Give the minimum time required for this exam and learn from your mistakes. This is the most important thing. Okay, you have to learn. You may make mistakes in your preparation, in your test series, while solving questions. You need not to be disappointed when you make mistake. This is how you learn. And these experiences of your mistakes and your preparation will definitely help you to qualify your prelims on the day when you write your prelims. Okay, make sure that all of you prepare in this way so that you can qualify your prelims and also you can qualify mains. Regarding how to qualify mains, at an appropriate time I will release a video how to qualify mains. Thank you.